Hi everybody, it's Kit with Paperkitz, and I hope you've all been enjoying the Olympics. I know we have, and every time I watch the Olympics, be it the winter or the summer, I always have this urge to go sign up for classes. Like now I want to go sign up again for tennis lessons and swimming and gymnastics. In fact, Saturday we went and observed a gymnastics class, and through that whole class I kept thinking, I can do that, I can do that, I can do that. Well, it was a class for 3-year-olds, so you know, I had a pretty good chance at doing some of those things, and I love their little tutus too. But anyway, what we're going to do today is another one-sheet project, and this is going to fall under the such, because I am running out of baskets to display all the mini albums that I have been making, and doing these classes I'm getting several of them, not only unfinished ones that I can use later on, but actually the finished ones too I like to display in baskets. And we're going to do this type of basket today with the little flaps on the ends, because these are some of my favorite designs. I made these this morning because, like I said, I really need baskets. We're going to make this size. Once you learn how to make the basic one, you can make them any size you want, and I'll show you when we're making it what you can do to change to make it a little bit different dimension. But I like this one because it is the best size. My mini albums all seem to fit in here, both the larger and the smaller ones. And you can decorate these up with lots and lots of embellishments on the flaps. I have just stayed within the one sheet on these, so there was enough scraps. I just punched out little butterflies to put on the flap, and did a scallop. I started out putting scallops on them first, because this other one I made this morning, I thought about doing another of these 3-layer dimensional flowers. I'm going to put some bling here in the middle of this one. But my butterfly punch caught my eye, so I finished that one out with butterflies. And I'm going to put a lot more on here too. But it depends. You don't have to do anything to them, because the mini albums you put inside them themselves are going to be decorations. So these are nice to have sitting out on a table with your latest mini albums in them, so that when people come visit, they can just pick one up and look at it and see what adventures you've been up to lately, and you can change them out as time goes by. You make more. Just take out the old albums, put in the new albums, or you can use them for anything. Great little organizers in your craft room to store things in. And how I like to do them is I put the design on the inside, because that's going to be what's coming out on your flap. But I'm going to do one a little bit different today. I'm going to do one where the design will be on the outside, so the flaps are plainer. And that's because I'm going to step outside of my 12 by 12 and make this little embellishment to put on it, which is a little pinwheel flower. And the reason I'm doing that is because of the paper. Here we go. This is the right side of the paper. And this is my Mind's Eye. I think it's Craft Fun. I saved the strip off of it. My Mind's Eye Craft Fun Day. So it's a heavyweight. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works out. This was a heavyweight one too that came out pretty good. This is the new Stampin' Up! Papers where they have the embossed craft. One side is plain craft, and the other side is, I don't know if it shows up, is an embossed pattern, which I think is pretty cool. So it worked on this one. This one's a little bit heavier though, so we're going to see how this is going to work, because we're going to be doing a lot of scoring. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to mark 4 inches and 8 inches. I hope this is on camera. On all the sides of our 12 by 12. 4, 8. I'm using a pencil so I can erase it later. 4, 8. 4. Ooh, that's coming right inside of black, so I'll make that one bigger. And 8. Sorry about my finger. I was inking up my blue flowers this morning and I still have blue ink all over me. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we are going to score these flaps. And again, let me think about this. I want these flaps going down, so I want to, no. I want these flaps going down. Ah, there we go, see? I'm going to have to do marks on this side because what it is, this side of the paper that's up is going to be your flaps and the inside of your basket. So think about that. Whatever you want on the inside. This has a real light polka dot all over it. And I think it would be ideal for the inside because it's not going to distract from the album's inside. And that way the pinwheel I made will look really cool sitting on that flap. So, redid those. So, you're going to line up those marks on your scoreboard because we are going to score diagonally across the corner. And whenever you're scoring anything heavy, kind of do a light score to stay within and then come back and do a heavier score. So score all four corners of your paper, just lining up those mark lines, light, heavier. Kind of trains your bone folder too to stay in the groove. Light, heavier, light, heavier. Okay, now we're going to fold these flaps under and burnish them. And I don't erase my pencil lines till I'm all done, but effectively you could at this point in time. Now I told you I would tell you along the way how you could make different sizes. If you wanted to go with the taller, less interior space, see that? It's taller, but it's a smaller square. What you're going to do is make your flaps smaller. So for this size, which I think is about 4 1/4, yeah, it's about 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, all dimensions. You would mark, instead of 4 and 8, you would mark 3 and 9. So the further out you go on the flaps, the taller and smaller the basket would be. The larger you go on the flaps, the more shallow and the wider your basket will be. So I hope that makes sense. Need to be careful though, because if you notice at the 4 and the 8-inch mark, your flap's coming right down to the bottom of your basket. So if you get any shallower than that on this design, you may have to trim up your flaps, cut them off or whatever. So anyway, there you go. A little hint there of how to make your own. Make it your own. Have fun with it. Now, this is going to be the outside of my basket here. So, we are going to score now with the outside design facing up. And what we want to do is take our score pad and we are going to score from this point to this point. So we're going to go all the way across our paper to where the ends of your flaps are, if that makes sense. I hope this is showing up. So we are going to run a score line from that point all the way down to that point. Light then heavy. Okay? Now we are going to do that on every point. Let's call it the end points of your flaps across the page. So your paper still is at a diagonal in your scoreboard, but we are running straight lines at the end of each of the flat points. So go all the way across, light, then heavier. Again, if you've got the heavy craft paper or cardstock, you could be, I'm going to show you too a later date. I've got another design where I use plain cardstock and stamp to create my own designs on it. That'll be another time. Okay, now craft paper wants to stand up and cheer. Okay, we're going to fold up and burnish. Okay. Fold up and burnish. And we're going to do this on all 4 of the score marks we just did. And now you can probably see where this is going. Okay, one more. I am so tickled with this paper. I love this little pinwheel design on it. Okay. Now what we are going to do is on this section here,